There is something up with the eggs. It goes well beyond just the feed and the yolk being on the outside. Something is up with the eggs.
It's like
this woman boiled them.
WTF is that? What is that? What is that? I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm not eating nothing, and I'm causing all kind of ruckus, because that ain't just going in my mouth. That's going in my people's mouth. That's going in my family, in my bloodline. Y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping. And then on top of that, eggs that look like this, they're not coming at a discount. They charging premium prices for fake ass food. Let's go.
And they came out this deformed with a internal yolk that's rubbery instead of pasty. Look at this crap.
This are those rubber eggs, honestly. Can you believe that? It's so gross. And these are from Eggland, okay? Has this ever happened to anybody where your eggs turn out to be rubber and hard? Look at that. They kind of bounce. Oh, this is so gross.
Oh, nah, last time I checked, eggs ain't supposed to bounce. Shout out to Mel. Mel, I am going dark, okay? But, you know, you can't do that right out the gate. I might lose some folk, okay? I'm already trying to build, but I'm only going to be telling the truth. I'm only going to be putting it out there the way it's presented to us, because at the end of the day, there is a real issue right here. And I believe, my personal opinion, last time I checked, I'm entitled to my personal opinion, that this is a manufactured situation. This is not a real dire situation. We in 2025. We in February of 2025. They've been pushing this narrative since the end of 2024, trying to bring it into 2025. I don't know if it's quite going the way that they wanted it to go, or they anticipated it on going, but people are woke. People are paying attention. People are talking. You got these social media platforms where they pushing all these different types of narratives and information, and at the same time, you got people out here showing their real lives and their real situations, their real experiences, and they putting a camera onto it and uploading it to these little social media platforms. So I just want to do my part, because most people that I know, eggs are, unless you're a straight vegan, because we're going to talk about some possible alternatives toward the end of the live as well. So stay tuned and stay dialed in, because eggs are not the only foods that you can eat, and it's definitely not the healthiest, especially from based off of what we're looking at. Eggs ain't supposed to bounce. Okay, they're not supposed to melt. They ain't supposed to be plastic. They're supposed to listen. You know how eggs supposed to go. When you boil eggs and you go to peel it, half of it ain't supposed to be connected to the shell. There is a cycle of life that is very consistent if it is not messed with. If it is messed with, it's going to tell on itself.
From Aldi. Wait, there's more. This is also...
She said these eggs were from Aldi. So I don't know who shops at Aldi's and who buys eggs at Aldi's, but this is from Aldi.
An egg from Aldi. I don't know. I'm a little suspicious of their food now. I felt pretty confident about their food, but now, not so much.
So I had to give you a visual with that, and we had to break that down, because listen, again, it'd be different if you knew what you was eating and they put disclaimers on these products, but they're not doing that. They're passing these foods off as if they are real, and they are charging them as if they're organically made and directly distributed from a farm source, right? So we cannot ignore that. Now, I'm going to ruffle some feathers and step on some toes, but I got to tell the truth. I got to tell the truth, and or at least my truth and what I believe to be true, right? So there is an issue with a lot of the farmers complaining that the commercial feed that they have been feeding their chickens has stopped their chickens from laying eggs. Okay? this woman and her farm and her chickens with her chickens having 9 eggs, she could tell her story better than I can.
Nearly 30 something years of raising chickens, I have never gone without eggs, not even just one. And since before Halloween, I have not gotten a single egg until about a week ago. And I switched the feed that I was giving.
Okay, I don't mean to cut her off, but I didn't want that to slide past us. She's okay. No, I'm gonna dial that back. She said that since November, her chickens haven't been laying any eggs. Soon as she switched their feed, the production has started to reignite. Okay, she's not the only one. If you go on different social media platforms, and there may even be some information on YouTube, you'll find all you need depending on how far you're willing to search. But it's out there. The information is out there. She is not the only one that is saying it.
Nearly 30 something years of raising chickens, I have never gone without eggs, not even just one. And since before Halloween, I have not gotten a single egg until about a week ago. And I switched the feed that I was giving. I no longer am feeding chicken feed. I have switched my girls to goat feed. Steel cut oats, black sunflower seeds, and goat feed. I have to say, there's something to this. If I have to put my little tinfoil hat on, it's kind of weird.
Okay, so she went several months with no eggs, commercial chicken feed. There are many different farmers that are saying and giving the same experience that she has said. It has slowed down the production of eggs. Why would they do that? Why would they give, if something is organically produced from the earth and it's not altered, it's not tainted, it's not modified, then what would be the purpose, right? I always say follow the money, and many other people do too. I'm not going to discount that, but I'm just saying, I personally, to me, money is always the motivation, along with greed, right? To me, they kind of go together, or they definitely go together. Let me rephrase that. And that is problematic. So speaking of greed, we got, again, most of us source our eggs and most of our foods from local grocery markets. And they come from farms. They come from somewhere other than they're imported or they're distributed to the grocery market. So that means that they're not the original source of our food, which means that it's the farmers. The farmers are definitely, shout out to the farmers, to all of the farmers that care about our people. They care about people getting organic food, untainted food. They are being pressed on and pressured into cooperating for a specific agenda or agendas, being plural. I believe it's plural. But what I will say is that a lot of them are caught between a rock and a hard place. And that's just the real of it. So we just went through last year, bunch of the farms, you got chickens being burned, or plants that hold chickens being burned, which in essence means that the chickens are being burned. Our food sources are being definitely attacked, right? They are being regulated. They are being monitored. They are being controlled at the end of the day. So the next little video is a video of a gentleman that is a farmer, and he has actually gone viral, but he is absolutely getting ready to tell us from a farmer's perspective, and as of that specifies in dealing and producing eggs from chickens, that this is his experience.
Before the supermarkets put their story across and cancel everyone else out. So when you go into a supermarket now, you might see that there's a bit of an egg shortage. So not many eggs on the shelf to buy, not free range, not organic, nothing. So you're struggling to find eggs. Supermarkets are going to tell you this is because of avian flu, which, to be fair, there has been a lot of cases of avian flu. But do you want to know the real reason why there's an egg shortage? It's because the supermarkets won't pay the farmers for the eggs. So the supermarkets have upped their price for you, the consumer, but they haven't filtered that price increase down to us, the farmers. So our cost of producing these eggs has skyrocketed. Feed, electric, the price of new birds, that's gone up. But our price of eggs has stayed the same. So we physically can't afford to produce these eggs. So currently there's been 8 million less free-range hens ordered for next year's flocks.
That's for next year. He said 8 million. He's going to tell you how many are short this year, or this quarter, I should say, right? Currently, 8 million is projected for next year, a shortage, and he is speaking, let me reiterate, per day. Per day, okay? That's a lot of eggs in a 24-hour cycle. No wonder they are being focused on and honed in on, because you got to use eggs to bake. Well, you don't have to, but most culturally and out of availability, our country, and not just here, but all over. You got the UK dealing with, you got Australia having issues with eggs. You got, unless you are a farmer and you have your hands on some chickens and you can control your egg production, you don't have to go to stores in order to accrue eggs, buy eggs, purchase eggs. You don't even know if they're real, what the true source of their eggs are, because they're going to be branded by corporations. So you're not going to know where those eggs come from and what the true source of those eggs are coming from. But when you're speaking on 8 million per day, that is an astronomical amount. And eggs have gone up over 300% in the past year. So 365 days ago, the price of eggs was down 300%. So that means that they're costing 3 times as much as they did a year ago.
So that's just under 8 million eggs every day that we're not going to be producing. So that's 8 million eggs less every single day that we don't produce. And we're already 3 million eggs short of being self-sufficient. So the UK have to import 3 million eggs every day to feed the nation. And now,
so he just said it. 3 million a day they're short from not having to outsource and buy them from other sources. Okay? That's a lot of eggs. Follow the money, y'all. Follow the money.
now we're losing another 8 million birds because the supermarkets won't pay us. And they're going to blame the farmers. They'll be like, oh, well, the farmers should just stock them and produce you great British food. But we can't afford to. If the supermarkets paid us a fair price for our eggs, then we would stock our sheds and there would be more sheds going up and the UK could be self-sufficient in great British eggs. But the supermarkets won't pay us. So if you can make any sense of that, or if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. But yeah, the current egg shortage isn't really due to avian flu. It's because the supermarkets are refusing to pay us a fair price for our produce.
That's a shame. That's a shame that they are capitalizing off of an agenda that is being pushed by some other than themselves. And we're talking about the grocery stores. And I just want to touch on that for a while. I'm going to spend a lot of time on it because I'm going to be right, direct, and to the point. The fact of the matter is that these grocery stores have been making hand over fist while they crime victim, because they have been utilizing and capitalizing off of the opportunity to adjust the prices to meet their desired bottom line at the risk and at the behest of the consumer. Now, the problem that I have, again, you've got a lot of people in this country that are on fixed incomes. While, again, just on the topic of eggs has gone up 300% in the past year. When you have people that are on disability, on Social Security, on retirement, on a budget, you have rent that's gone up almost 18 to 20% in this country in the past 2 years. maybe even the past year. I could be wrong on that. We're talking about necessities here: food, water, and shelter. They have found a way to monetize the water to where that is the only water source. What is bottled water? Unless you are in a position to seek out a water well, to have a water well. Maybe you have a neighbor that has a water well. There may be a local church in your area that has a water well. But if it has a corporation's name, and sometimes you got to look at the small print and the fine print, but the point of the matter is they have monetized everything that we need and taken control over it to the point where they can charge what they want to charge because it is needed to sustain life. These grocery stores are out of pocket. Not only are they rationing the eggs, but again, they've gone so far up in price that a lot of people are foregoing even buying them because it's not in their budget. It's not something that they can afford. It's not feasible enough to put in their kitchen. I used to buy flats from the farmers markets, package them up, divvy them up, put them in a refrigerator. We'd be good for at least 3 weeks, maybe a month if everybody ain't hungry at the same time, right? Now it's like you gotta really be paying attention. I saw Together We Break say $12.99 in California. I've seen them as high as $11 for a 12 pack, and in some cases an 18 pack. So if I see that price for an 18 pack, I'm gonna grab them. 6 eggs. They'll break the little dozen in half and then stick them in there for the little older people that live by themselves, or somebody that really don't need that many eggs, or they don't eat them like that, right? Grab them. That's over $5 to $6. So we are really in a situation. We have lost our core family where we hold one another accountable, where we reinforce one another, where we are cushions for one another, where we compensate, where our brother, our sister, our auntie, our uncle, our grandmother, our grandfather, our nieces, our nephews, we got a generation that's coming up that's technology savvy. You got old heads like me that need help from time to time, right? There's a lot of people that are not technology savvy, just like they don't know nothing. These kids don't know nothing about farming. And I'm talking about collectively. They don't know anything about the value system of having a core family. And I will even extend that to say that beyond core family, what about a tribe? What about, you don't have to be related to these people through blood, but if you establish familial relationships, so if you act like family, you treat each other as family, you respect one another as family, you will hold one another accountable at some point. There are many benefits. That's why there's been such a hard and expensive agenda to dismantle the core family, right? So when I say that we have to get back to the land, we have to get back to the core principles and the foundations of the Bible, of the old yesteryears, of our ancestors, that we gel together and we say, you know what, we don't need the system. And if you know what the system is, but we don't need the system to put us in position to be self-sustainable. We can do this on our own, but we have to change the mindset. It has to start with the mindset, or the relationships aren't going to change. Thank you so much for coming through. And I'm going to let y'all get on with y'all day. I appreciate y'all. Peace, and I'm out.